What I fold on though?
When you took the stand, or when you testified?
What I fold on?
When you snitched.
All right, so let me ask you something. If you was in that position, what you would have done?
For me, you gotta understand.
Nah, I don't answer the question.
I would never tell.
All right, so this is what I'm saying. If you was in that position, you would have did that, Tom?
What's your definition of a snitch? Let's start there.
A snitch is somebody, I feel like a snitch would do anything to get out of a situation. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a snitch will get faced with something and would just give up their mother, their brother, everybody, their whole camp just to be free.
Tekashi 6ix9ine's world just collapsed. His girl murdered cold, and now shocking footage shows him in the hours before it all went down. The whispers, his reckless comments may have lit the fuse that got her caught in the crossfire.
Nigga, all your dad homies, I don't give a who I'm talking about. All of them.
Talking about?
You ain't your dad homie.
August 17th, 2025 hit hip-hop like an earthquake. Before sunrise, Ariela Lalangosta, a 29-year-old Dominican beauty shaking up New York as an influencer and bartender, was found slumped in her car on Cross County Parkway, Mount Vernon. The way it went down was disturbing, but even wilder was her connection to Tekashi and whether his messy lifestyle put her in danger. See, Ariela wasn't just a pretty face posting selfies. She was running the scene with over 551,000 on the gram and another 115,000 on TikTok. She had clout stacked up heavy. But more than that, she was plugged into the pulse of New York nightlife, bartending at elite clubs like Icon and Starlet's, places where big-name rappers, flashy hustlers, and high-profile influencers cross paths every night. That was Ariela's world, glittering lights and non-stop motion, but it was also a battlefield where drama popped off quick.
Bro,
Not surprised.
told on his girl, bro.
Not surprised.
6ix9ine just about to tell on anybody, huh?
Man, come on.
These weren't harmless party spots. They were pressure cookers. Money, fame, and street politics all colliding under the same roof. That tension made them dangerous, and Ariela was right there in the middle of it. On August 16th, just hours before everything flipped, she was on IG posting from Icon, New York. The same place she hustled, the same scene that wrapped her in the deadly chaos of that world. The videos hit different. Ariela shining, smiling, looking untouchable. Nobody thought those IG stories were her final hours, but they were, and now the streets can't stop speculating. To unpack this, you gotta rewind to Tekashi's messy history with the feds. His name is stamped with cooperation, and that matters now more than ever. In a no-jumper clip, the way he casually agreed to talk to 12, even about people he was supposed to ride with, had the host shook. The culture already labeled him a rat, and this moment just proved the point. 6ix9ine himself don't hide it. He leans into it, and that's key when piecing together why some believe Ariela's ties to him may have made her a target. When your brand screams snitch, the people around you inherit that danger. Now here's where the speculation spins wild.
What's your definition of a snitch? Let's start there.
A snitch is somebody, I feel like a snitch would do anything to get out of a situation. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a snitch will get faced with something and would just give up their mother, their brother, everybody, their whole camp just to be free.
The true nature of their bond. Certain voices say Ariela was his girl, locked in romantically. Others argue Tekashi called her his sister, making it about loyalty and trust more than love. But the mixed stories aren't random. They show how murky things get in 6ix9ine's circle. In his lane, even calling someone family can put a spotlight on them that turns deadly fast. What we do know, their link wasn't casual at all. Ariela played a standout role in Tekashi's WAPA video alongside Angel Dior Lanier and Bolan 47. It wasn't a throwaway cameo. Her charisma lit up the visuals and tied her directly to Tekashi's brand and music. Then in 2023, the two were spotted together at New York's Toga Room. That appearance screamed comfort. They were fine being seen together, but it also hinted at secrecy, since Tekashi usually shields his personal ties from public eyes. The timing of Ariela's murder hits harder when you stack it against Tekashi's 2025 legal mess. By that year, he wasn't the wild troll dominating social media anymore. He was a man boxed in. After a 45-day stretch in federal custody for supervised release violations in late 2024, he was slammed with house arrest, electronic monitoring, and travel bans. Every move he made was under a microscope. And in July 2025, things got uglier. He pled guilty to drug charges after feds raided his Florida spot, uncovering MDMA, cocaine, and more.
What I fold on though?
When you took the stand, or when you testified.
What I fold on?
When you snitched.
All right, so let me ask you something. If you was in that position, what you would have done?
For me, you gotta understand.
I don't.
Listen,
Answer the question.
I would never tell.
All right, so this is what I'm saying. If you was in that position, you would have did that, Tom?
With sentencing set for September, Tekashi's world was collapsing. His public moves were nearly non-existent, which makes his ties with Ariela not just unusual, but dangerous. This wasn't just unlikely, it was career suicide if Tekashi slipped. Still, Ariela's murder is being tied to his explosive past, and the list of enemies he created when he switched sides from gang ties to government witness. In unreleased footage, Tekashi is seen snapping back, defending why he cooperated and throwing the challenge. What would you do? That mindset fuels the question, did Ariela pay the price for being in his orbit? The Daniel Hernandez story has been told 1,000 times, from rapper to rat, but in 2025, it hit new relevance. The man who once lived off controversy now faced death threats stacked high, like the fake coffin with King Von's name delivered to his Florida home just months before Ariela was killed. That stunt alone fueled rumors her death was no coincidence. It was retaliation.
Let me ask you something, and like I said, my respect to the West Coast. You never lacking, right?
Never.
So what happened to the niggas that lack? Let's bring up Nipsey Hussle. You think he said, yo, will never come up to me because I'm... No, bro, it happened to the best of them.
Yes.
Hold on.
You're absolutely right.
Hold on. So what you gonna say, Nipsey? Huh?
But here's the wild part. This case ain't just about a girlfriend or a fling. It's about a whole network of rivalries tied to Tekashi's name. His interviews reveal a pattern. He never stopped cooperating. Snitching wasn't panic, it was his playbook, and that made everyone close to him vulnerable. So investigators aren't treating this like some random act of street violence. They're piecing together a bigger story, one where Ariela's death looks less like bad luck and more like fallout from the storm always circling Tekashi. The streets are lit with gossip around Ariela's death. Every corner has its own theory, and together they read like a gritty hood saga.
He's dead, but what's the point though?
All right then, so King Von is a solid, and he got killed, right? Then poked out and put 5 in him, right? And he dead, right? So King Von died lacking.
You hurt my feelings.
No. Hear what I'm saying?
May he rest in peace,
King
man.
Von died lacking. Nipsey died lacking. Pop Smoke died lacking.
Right.
Can't lack?
No, you can't.
All right.
Killer be killed in these streets.
First, Tekashi's mindset sets the tone. In raw footage, he breaks down why he thinks real street rappers fail, because they stay loyal and end up in graves. He brags that working with feds keeps him alive, making him sharper than those who kept it solid. That cold logic is exactly why his shadow looms heavy over Ariela's case. But the most explosive theory centers not on Tekashi, but on Ariela's alleged boyfriend, Nada Cardier. According to reports, Cardier is no small-time hustler. He's described as a suspected gang figure tied to robbery schemes nicknamed Joe Lopi. On the night Ariela was killed, she was reportedly behind the wheel of a G-Wagon with Cardier by her side. Bullets flew, she didn't survive, but Cardier came out untouched. Then comes the jaw-dropping claim. Allegedly, Ariela set up Colombians for Cartier's crew to rob. If that's real, her death wasn't random, it was payback. That theory flips her story from bystander to someone entangled in underworld drama too deep to escape. Authorities later detained a suspect identified by several outlets as Cardier himself. With a background of arrests and questions about how he even entered the US, his name fuels the idea that the whole hit was aimed at him, not her. Ariela's end may have been collateral damage in a chess game meant to take Cardier off the board.
I respect gangsters, bro. But you gonna see me, you gonna respect me.
Hold on, let me break something down to you, right?
I don't even mean to change the mood, but 6ix9ine, we all know about the perception.
Here's where things get even messier. Some say Ariela was tied to both Tekashi and Cardier. If true, that overlap could have doubled her danger, putting her in the crosshairs of jealous rivals and gang enemies alike. The second theory blowing up in hip-hop chatter pins her death on Tekashi's past. His 9 Trey Bloods ties and infamous 2019 testimony made him the ultimate snitch target. In clips, Tekashi brags about surviving where real ones got killed, mocking street loyalty as useless if it ends in a casket. That outlook made enemies furious, and some believe Ariela paid for his sins. One rumor claims the shooting was meant for Tekashi, but she caught it instead. His IG tribute calling her sister fueled suspicions. Was he grieving, or was it guilt knowing her connection to him made her vulnerable? But here's the snag. Tekashi's 2025 probation had him on house arrest with electronic monitoring. Him being out in New York looked unlikely. That gap sparked new questions. Was the attack symbolic? A hit on someone close to him to send a deadly message?
Yo, bro.
I'm gonna be honest.
Alpo. We gonna get on Alpo. Yo, shout out my girl, baby. I love you. Listen, I gotta talk about it. I gotta bring it up. I'm sorry if I put, but I'm about to fire Harlem up. My girl's baby father, Charlie C, is a Mac ball of blood.
Okay, what that mean?
He's a Mac ball of blood that Jack kill all rats. The Mac ball, Jack kill all rats.
Then comes the third theory tearing through social feeds, that Ariela herself was marked as an informant. Just like Tekashi, she may have been accused of talking to law enforcement about criminal players in her orbit. If so, her death fits a darker pattern: street punishment for anyone tied to cooperation. Rumors that Ariela was cooperating with authorities gained traction because of one simple fact. Tekashi himself glorifies snitching as survival. In past clips, he proudly calls cooperation smart, not shameful, so speculation naturally grew. Did his mindset push Ariela into playing that same role? No official files confirm it, but credibility doesn't matter in the streets. Perception does. And when betrayal gets even rumored, payback is often swift. That's why people started seeing her death as the kind of punishment usually reserved for those labeled as informants. Meanwhile, NYC was on fire with violence. Around the same time, a Brooklyn nightclub got torn up. 42 shells, 4 shooters, confirmed gang ties. Mayor Adams even dispatched crisis units to calm retaliation. The overlap in timing had fans and blogs suggesting Ariela's murder might have been part of that larger wave of street warfare.
Or Harlem don't hide and be like, I wasn't at that baby shower. If I would've seen, I was at that baby shower drinking rosé.
I ain't gonna even lie.
No,
Also,
listen.
let me get spicy real quick. See, my whole thing is like this, man. On some real, I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, Jim Jones, but you keep shouting Mel and shouting them out.
But here's the kicker. Going after Tekashi himself is nearly impossible. He's caged by probation, under federal monitoring, eyes on him everywhere. Hitting someone tied to him, that's how you send a message loud and clear. What makes it worse is the official silence. No forensics, no breakdown of how it happened, nothing but vague statements. That void gave space for theories to multiply. Social media spun one story, hip-hop blogs another, and conspiracy pages pushed their own. With the streets starved of facts, speculation became the only currency, and Ariela's death sits right in the middle of it. Law enforcement is clearly drowning in a high-profile nightmare, and Tekashi's name makes it 10 times harder. Public interest is boiling, while cops juggle a case wrapped in contradictions. In old clips, Tekashi even lays out why sticking to gangster codes gets you killed. He frames his cooperation as survival. That mentality hangs heavy over Ariela's case. The Alpo Martinez twist takes it further. Reports that he was at Tekashi's baby shower before his own death show just how messy this world really is. Cooperation doesn't end ties, it twists them, leaving contradictions that often turn violent. The investigation into Ariela's death is being run by NYPD and Westchester County Police, labeled a suspicious homicide. Chief James Luciano admitted they see it tied to criminal activity, but specifics sealed tight. That's why people believe it wasn't random, it was deliberate. Yet despite the hype, by August 18, 2025, no suspects, no arrests, no clear motive.
You know what I mean? Because now it's just putting you back in the spotlight as telling again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it just won't stop. What's next?
Now, I don't with 6ix9ine whatsoever, but
Why not?
domestic violence, you know why. Domestic violence is domestic violence.
That lack of progress fuels suspicion. Are investigators stalling, or are they running into walls no one wants to admit? And the scene itself only adds mystery. 8 a.m., Cross County Parkway. Ariela found slumped in her car. Headshot wound confirmed by multiple outlets. But no information on weapon, bullet count, or sequence of shots has been given. That blackout leaves space for conspiracies, fan theories, and hip-hop blogs to run wild, keeping the streets buzzing while the truth stays locked away. The most puzzling part? The location itself, the Cross County Parkway. A major route busy, covered by traffic and surveillance. For a shooting to go down there without clear evidence means it was either a hit carried out in seconds or a move so carefully planned the shooters knew exactly when surveillance would fail. The wild card in all this is Tekashi's legal lockdown. Rumors said he was with Ariela, but by 2025, he was strapped down with probation, house arrest, and electronic monitoring. Him slipping into New York without getting caught, nearly impossible, which forces a new angle. Maybe the shooters aimed to send a symbolic message, or maybe they thought he'd be there and missed, and the backdrop of threats against him is undeniable.
Yo, wait, let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask the OGs a question. Was Mel Murder running around with Treyway? Well, I mean, was Mel Murder running around with Jim Jones in 2009? Was Mel Murder running around Jim Jones when he was doing bowling?
Yeah.
He was, right?
That fake casket stamped with King Von's name delivered to his Florida home in February 2025 proves enemies were active and creative with intimidation. His past never stopped chasing him. Tekashi's own words about Alpo Martinez highlight his reckless attitude, exposing contradictions in the culture, clowning street codes, and daring enemies to check him. That antagonistic stance keeps him a lightning rod for retaliation. So even without him present, Ariela's death could have been about him. Being close to Tekashi meant inheriting his enemies. And in that twisted logic of the streets, silencing her was just another way to hurt him. This whole tragedy shows how proxy hits dominate the game. When the main figure's untouchable, you punish those tied to them. Tekashi's cooperation record put him back under the microscope, and no jumper even said it outright. The streets know his pattern, and that makes everyone in his circle a potential target. His attitude doesn't help either. Tekashi loves to flip it back on critics, asking what they do in his shoes. That confrontational style makes him polarizing, mocking street codes while knowing his own survival rests on cooperation. That duality makes enemies pile up, and Ariela may have been caught in that storm. Then came his tributes. In the middle of legal fire, sentencing in September for drug charges, he went public with emotional posts about Ariela. Some took it as pure grief. Others saw it as him trying to shield himself from blame. Either way, it showed cracks in his usual cautious playbook. The response to Ariela's death was massive. Clubs she worked at honored her on Instagram. Fans flooded her page. The Dominican community mourned her as one of their own. She wasn't just nightlife royalty. She was loved beyond the scene. But facts are brutal. On August 17, 2025, Ariela Lalangoa was found shot dead in her car. Police call it a targeted homicide linked to criminal activity. Yet as of now, no arrests, no motive, no closure. The mystery stays wide open and the theories won't stop spinning. Say what you think in the comments. Was Ariela a victim of Tekashi's enemies or something deeper? Smash subscribe, like, and share this video so you don't miss the next breakdown.